And did something happen? I stopped drinking, by the way.
Oh, amazing.
6 years now. And
Congratulations.
everybody says to me, Rachel Kolisi, welcome to Both Sides. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me something no one else knows.
Something no one else knows about me that I think might be interesting is at one stage in my life I used to drag race cars. And I was actually pretty good, and I was the only girl that was doing it for the time that I did.
When was this?
It was just before I had my son, so it was probably like 2013.
And it wasn't in the press? It wasn't?
No.
Okay.
I didn't have a public platform then, or persona, if you will. But no, it was just something that I always loved doing, and someone invited me to a MSA Drags, and I was good.
You got in the car and off you went?
Yeah.
And have you always had a need for speed, or it was?
I think I
just
always
turned out well.
Yeah, I think I always did prior to that. But I must say nowadays I don't mind. I don't mind what I drive or how I drive. Just want to get from A to B.
Certainly something you weren't going to pursue. But I mean, we have some women in spinning in South Africa that have done very well.
Yeah, even in the drags, there's a lot more women that are driving now, which is amazing to see.
Okay.
And I hope it continues to grow and that women are recognized in it.
Lots of television programs from the States on both legal and illegal drag racing.
Very true. I did no illegal drag racing, just to confirm.
That's fine. You said at the time you didn't have a persona, as it were, a social persona or media persona.
Mm-hmm.
Things have changed quite dramatically since then, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, social media has exploded. I'm being kind. How do you think men and women are treated differently on social media?
It's an interesting question, how men and women are treated differently on social media. And I wouldn't necessarily restrict it to social media. I think that just in life in general, men and women are treated differently. I think that there are different aspects and obviously different sectors and environments that happens in. But if we're referring to social media specifically, I think that women are criticized a lot more on social media. I mean,
trolled.
Yeah. Trolled, criticized, whatever language you want to use for it. But you look at Nelly Furtado. She recently had a concert, right? And there were some pictures that went out, and she's a lot curvier than what she was in the day that I knew and watched her, and she was performing a lot. And the criticism that came out about her and her image and how she looks is horrific, where I don't find that's equal to maybe how a man would be treated in the same situation. So I think I think it's a lot more critical on social media for women than it is for men.
I mean, recently Tyler, in terms of her sales figures and the success of her new EP,
Mm-hmm.
That kind of happened as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that the same type of commentary wouldn't have been about a successful male musician's career.
I agree. I agree 100%. And I think that there's a huge divide between the conversation when it comes around women and the critique around women and the critique around men. And I feel like it's a lot easier to just pick at women and to find an issue, whether it's how she looks, how she acts, what she said, what she does. It's a lot easier, I find, for the public to kind of pick at a woman than they do for men.
Now that you have a very public profile and the career that you're making with Rise, that's also obviously driven by social media. What is it that you'd like to achieve, as it were? Is it a career? Is it a moment?
Yeah, so I remember very vividly when I decided to kind of open up myself to the public. And I only joined Instagram actually in 2014, which, if you look back, that was kind of late in time. A lot of people had kind of joined social media already. I only joined Facebook in 2008. And I remember very clearly making a decision about, do I want to live more privately, or am I happy to kind of open up my life and share a little bit more about the intricacies and the day to day of my life? And I did. And I think there's almost like an agreement that you need to have with yourself that doesn't always come with all the good stuff and the invitations and the excitement of side of social media, but it also comes with a lot of backlash, and so you kind of have to, you sign up for that and you agree to that when you open yourself up publicly. um I think, um and just in thinking about that decision and how it's kind of led me career wise and opened many opportunities for me career wise, Rise is a perfect example. We've been able to reach so many women through social media, and not just locally but internationally. And there's a lot of other things that I'm dreaming about doing, and I can't really speak a lot about them yet, but a lot that I'm working on. But I really truly believe that my story and my experience, not just now, but in life in general, is something that a lot of women do relate to. And so I want to use that responsibly and really be able to connect with a lot of women, and for them to kind of have like um, uh, not quite a North Star, but just like a touch point of whatever it is that they're trying to navigate. And I can completely appreciate that not everybody feels comfortable about the vulnerability that comes with that. But I feel
And you've,
comfortable
and
with
you've
that.
certainly spoken about mental health and vulnerability.
I sure have. And I think that it's important. And I feel like I am able to because other women before me have spoken about it. And it does feel like it is, scary, deep waters to be walking in. But I think that it's incredibly important. And the fact that there's a lot of conversations that still feel very taboo or shouldn't be had, especially if you're a public figure. I just feel that that's wrong, and I feel comfortable to address it.
Do you respond to a lot of the comments that you get directly? If someone says, I'm having a bad day, thanks for your fitness program, am I, people go and say that I'm not pretty enough, something like that. Because as much as you're going to on social media, you can't legislate for it, right? So
100%.
you're going to get 99% of comments, thank you, fantastic, etc., etc., and then the 1%. Sadly, that's the tricky part.
Sure. I think it's really important to have the responsibility when it comes to social media. And I've tried to be very wary of getting caught up in it. And of course, to your point, 10% of it is negative, but the 90% is also dangerous because you can also start living in this, I'm all that, like I'm doing all the amazing things, like I've got so much
People love
support.
me.
Completely. And you can kind of ride on that wave forever. And I personally believe that that's as dangerous as believing in the 10% negativity that comes with it. And so I try to be really responsible with the comments that I receive and the reactions to things. Of course, it's nice to know people love you and they appreciate things,
It's a
and
world built on likes.
of course, of course, that's nice to know. But it is also important to remember that it's based off of what you're willing to share, and it's not real life. It's not all real life. And so I've tried to kind of find a middle ground between being vulnerable and sharing some of the uncomfortable, like not so nice parts of my life, but also sharing some of the beautiful, amazing things that can be celebrated. But it's a tricky thing to manage with comments. And as far as responding, I used to love a clapback, right? Like I used to not love receiving a negative comment, but I would always respond
You'd
to
be up for
negative.
it.
Yeah, I would always respond to it. And I think just with maturity and with age, I've just realized that I would much rather engage in the positive than in the negative. And so in the negative If it's a bit hectic, I'll block them completely, which I never used to. I used to believe in kind of letting them watch me live my best life, but now I just block them because I just don't actually want to waste my energy on those kinds of things.
I frame social media almost as like a three-dimensional augmented reality. You don't need to put something on your head to see something else, right? Are you surrounded by family and friends who are able to, for want of a better term, ground you?
I feel when it comes to grounding, for me, my faith does that. And I think it's really important for every single person to have a grounding, whatever that is. But for me, it's my faith. And I just really just remember and acknowledge the fact that what I have can be taken away in, like this. And so I don't, as much as I value it, I don't value it over things that are more important in life. And so I do have an amazing surrounding of family and friends that, of course, keep me, very grounded. But even without them, I do believe that my faith does that.
You have a tattoo.
Mhm.
This,
Two.
well, I'll speak about the one that you've spoken about. This too shall pass.
Yes.
When did you get that?
I got that tattoo, oh my gosh, I think I must have been about 21 maybe, or 22.
And did something happen? I stopped drinking, by the way.
Oh, amazing.
Six years now. And
Congratulations.
everybody says to me, what happened? Like, did you wake up really, really drunk and you said you'd never do this
That's
again?
enough. Oh, I nothing happened specifically in that when I got that tattoo, but my sister got a tattoo, and I thought that looked really cool, and so I was thinking about something, and so I have this "too shall pass" written on my back, on the left-hand side over my heart. And I'm a Christian, and I wanted it in a language that Jesus spoke when Jesus was here and walking on earth, and he spoke Hebrew. So my tattoo is in Hebrew, and it is just a constant reminder that life is full of beautiful highs and it's full of very low lows, and just to remember that all of those pass. And so obviously it feels more helpful in the valley, right, when you're dealing with something really hard, to remember that it is going to pass. This too shall pass. But I think it's as important to remember that when you're in a moment of celebration and a moment of beauty, to be present in that moment. And I think that's something that we all really struggle with these days, is just to be present in a moment and just appreciate a moment for everything that it comes with. And so it's also just a reminder that the beautiful moments are going to pass too, and so to be fully present in those.